Hello everyone, welcome to the Cricket Rockstar Plus Show. I'm Tyrell Odin, your handsome, dappering, daggering cricket rockstar. And without further ado, with all those hilarious introductions, let's just get on with it, my dear friends. It's FIFA World Cup time, so we have a lot to break down on today's show. And I apologize for the lack of talking football on my social media platforms for the last week or so. It's my fault and I accept full responsibility for it. The opening week of the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup delivered goals, drama, and surprises. We all know already that we did break down the opening game where Spain opened up the tournament with a 2-0 victory over South Africa. Then that same night, South Korea edged Czechia 2-1. Day after, the US emphatically blew away Paraguay 4-1. And then on Saturday, the 13th, Brazil were held to a 1-1 draw with Morocco. Germany, they blew away Curacao 7-1. But I'm going to defend Curacao here. This is their first World Cup appearance. The highlight for them was their first ever World Cup goal. But we're not going to talk about Curacao much right now. Later on, I will explain. Then Sweden hammered Tunisia 5-1. France defeated Senegal 3-1. Argentina defeated Algeria 3-1. And then England just last week destroyed Croatia 4-2 in what was a rematch of the third place playoff from the 2018 tournament in Russia. Now, we need to review last week's action because I didn't have the time to react to it because I was watching the games live on television. But I don't want to talk TV much because the coverage for the FIFA World Cup here in the Caribbean on Rush has been a disappointment without a trace. And I'll say why right now. The reason for that is there's no pre-show, there's no post-match analysis. They only want to do that in the knockout phase. But as I'm talking about football right now, France just scored in their second match against Iraq. The score is 1-0. But I'll talk about that in a subsequent video. Thursday, the 18th June was the start of the second round of group stage action in Groups A and B. Czechia, formerly known as Czech Republic, and South Africa played out to a 1-1 draw. Switzerland crushed Bosnia and Herzegovina 4-1. And Canada on Friday recorded the biggest routing of the FIFA World Cup so far, destroying the 2022 host Qatar 6-0 in a match which not only was Canada's first ever World Cup victory, but in that same match as well, one of their main players suffered a broken leg, automatically ruling him out for the rest of the competition, and it led to one of the Qatarian players being sent off. And then after the game, tempers flared. I don't know if any cards were handed out, but we'll never know. Then that same night, Mexico became the first team to qualify for the round of 32, or should I say the second round, by defeating South Korea 1-0. But I'll be very honest, even though they moved to 6 points to the top of their pool, they haven't played the best of football so far, to say the least. Now, why I'm saying that is because every time I've watched the Mexico team, they always bring out their 100% game. However, since the start of the World Cup, the first two games, even though they defeated South Africa 2-1, they haven't been at its 100% best yet. Hopefully, they find their act together before the round of 32 begins in a week from now. But nevertheless, they already became the first team to go through to the next round, while Canada's 6-goal explosion over Qatar has made sure that they are just one more victory or a draw away from reaching the next phase of the World Cup. Now, this was the second largest round of the World Cup so far. Friday the 19th and the Saturday 20th of June saw several contenders strengthening their positions in the group stage. The US defeated Australia 2-0 in Seattle, while Paraguay, they edged Turkey 1-0. While Morocco, on the other hand, they defeated Scotland 1-0. And Brazil comfortably destroyed tournament newcomers Haiti 3-0. That same Saturday also featured the Netherlands dismantling Sweden 5-1. Germany defeating Ivory Coast 2-1, or should I say on Sunday, I beg your pardon. Sunday is where Netherlands dismantled Sweden 5-1, Germany defeated Ivory Coast 2-1, and Ecuador that same Sunday night surprisingly was held to a 0-0 draw at the hands of Curacao. Now, I'll tell you something about this Curaçaoan team and some of the tournament's newcomers. You see, Cape Verde and Curacao, they are the tournament's giant killers so far. You see that goalkeeper from Cape Verde, Fonseca? That man is an absolute beauty behind goal. If you didn't see the first couple of games, these goalkeepers from Cape Verde and Curacao have been unstoppable. Now, Germany, we already know they've gone through to the round of 32, maintaining their 100% record. While also the Dutch, they are also through to the next round as well. So far, Canada are the only other co-hosts in this World Cup who are almost certain to qualify for the next phase. But nevertheless, Japan, in their second round match in their respective group, they crushed Tunisia 4-0. Spain hammered Saudi Arabia 4-0. Belgium was held to a 0-0 draw with Iran, who, mind you, Iran's story is a very fairy tale story because Iran almost did not make it to the World Cup because of US stupid politics, but that's another story by itself. But you see, Cape Verde, who I just talked about alongside Curacao, they held 1930 and 1934 World Cup winners Uruguay, the two-time champions, to a thrilling 2-2 draw in South Florida, while Egypt last night defeated New Zealand 3-1. Spain's dominant display and Japan's 4-goal performance did highlight why they are ready contenders to go through to the next round. Spain, despite drawing to Cape Verde, they are all but certain to go through. They just need one more victory or a draw from their last game to go through. While on the other hand, Cape Verde, they'll need to win its last game to at least go through. Remember, there's no longer the goal difference. It's all about head-to-head. And remember, the third best team from any of the groups, remember, it's the 8 best third place teams qualify for the round of 32 alongside the top 2 teams from the usual groups qualify as well. So just letting you know that that's a part of the new rule now as the World Cup has expanded to 48 teams. With Egypt's victory over New Zealand, Group G is still wide open because all 4 teams draw their respective first games, which meant that anything can still happen. Remember, it's the head-to-head that decides who goes through to the next round. That's in case the games end up in a draw or whatever the results are. But we need to talk about today's action. Monday, the 22nd of June, Argentina, a few hours ago, defeated Austria 2-0, courtesy Lionel Messi. Yes, number 10 created history by becoming the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the FIFA Men's World Cup, going past Germany's Klose, who had 16 goals. Now, just to let you know, it can swing back and forth because right now Mbappe is right behind Messi, and there's a possibility when Messi retires, Mbappe could pass him in future World Cups. And watch out, ladies and gentlemen, for Lamine Yamal of Spain, because this young man is going to have a long, stellar career, just like Lionel Messi. In case you didn't see Spain's game yesterday, Yamal scored a double, playing his first full game since injuring his hamstring in the La Liga about a month or 2 ago. That is good news for them. Right now, France is playing Iraq. The score is Les Bleus 1, Iraq 0. Then later on this evening, there's Norway versus Senegal and Jordan versus Algeria. That completes today's schedule at the FIFA Men's World Cup as the round of 32 qualifications intensify. That's going to do it for this edition of the Cricket Rockstar Plus Show, where we cover not just cricket alone, but football as well. I know Major League Cricket has started in the US, and there's also the ongoing ICC Women's T20 World Cup, which I will try and keep you guys updated with. But with all the World Cup football that's going on, I have to put cricket on the back foot because Football, obviously, you had to use your feet and front foot. Cricket at this time is not on my head. The only time I could come back and give you all cricket updates is when I get information with regards to the CPL overseas signings. Once I get information on that, I will break it to you right here on the show. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing more powerful than hate is love, and all we need to have is love. So until then, my dear friends, goodbye for now.